Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're actually going to be doing a video about Luckin Coffee. Before I start the video, guys, please make sure to leave a like on the video below. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. Join the family, guys. Let's go on our investing journey together. So today we're going to be talking about Luckin Coffee. And if you guys don't know the history about Luckin Coffee, it's basically a huge coffee chain that's based out of China. Basically branded itself as the Starbucks of China, was expanding like crazy, and earlier this year, it got hit with a huge accounting scandal. Muddy Waters published a research report, which is a short seller, basically saying that Luckin Coffee was fabricating a lot of their sales. And later turned out to be true. Yes, Luckin Coffee was indeed fabricating a lot of their sales. The company then, therefore, got delisted from NASDAQ. Now it currently trades over the counter. And if you guys don't know what over the counter is, it's basically just another platform where you can buy and sell stocks. As you guys know, most people trade on the New York Stock Exchange. It's just the most popular one. But it got delisted from NASDAQ, and it went through this whole process. And the stock, believe it or not, looking at the 5-year chart here, guys, this thing was once a $50 stock, and it sank all the way down to $1.50. Around there, and then now it's currently back up at $4.50, and it leads people to wonder and leads people to ask the serious question: should you invest in Luckin Coffee? Now, obviously, guys, everything I say in my videos is not financial advice. It's just my personal opinion, but just know that me personally, I think this is a great time to buy Luckin Coffee. Now, I do know that the investment in Luckin Coffee is very, very risky, just due to the simple fact that, yeah, they got hit with a huge accounting fraud, and it turned out to be true. We do not have updated financials to see how well Luckin Coffee is actually doing, which is probably the biggest argument people have against Luckin Coffee. But the reason why I'm personally bullish on Luckin Coffee is, one, their stores are still operating. They have 6,000 plus stores, and it's basically been a good name for itself in China, aside from the whole fraud thing. But Luckin Coffee is actually doing pretty okay in China. Even amidst the whole pandemic, they're still opening up new stores, they're still selling coffee, and they're still trying to expand, although it is a little bit harder now just because with the whole COVID-19 situation, and they got hit with the fraud as well, so they don't have as much capital now from investors to actually be able to expand as fast as they were before. You guys have to understand that these things were basically backed by Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, and all these big time companies. Now it's just currently, all those big companies, they sold all their positions. Now, the reason why I still think Luckin Coffee is a good buy is because I know that companies can recover from fraud. I know a lot of people are like, okay, Luckin Coffee did an accounting scandal. Yes, I understand, we get it, but you guys have to understand too, Wells Fargo, General Electric, and all these American companies have all committed fraud in the past before, and they're doing just fine. You guys have to understand, Wells Fargo had a pretty big scandal as well. They were basically making fake accounts for people. And like I said, the bank is still standing. It's still up and running. The stock is still doing pretty okay. And Wells Fargo is still a dominant name in the game. So I don't understand why the same thing can't happen to Luckin Coffee. Although Luckin Coffee is a little bit of a riskier investment, just due to the fact that we actually don't know how Luckin Coffee is doing as a company. And like I said, yes, we know that their stores are still operating. And yes, we know they're still expanding. But we don't have updated financials, so we don't know their actual balance sheet. We haven't seen it. We don't know if the company's actually making money. I know the company is, give or take, estimated to be around a $1 billion market cap. And I know that they're sitting on a lot of cash, which is very, very good because, I know that they had to pay out a couple fines. So having a lot of cash on hand is good. And the simple fact that, when you're paying out fines and you're paying out for lawsuits and stuff like that, it's always good to have a lot of cash to be able to settle those and then kind of move forward. But the thing is, Luckin Coffee right now, it's turning a new leaf, and now we have to start looking forward on the actual stock itself. Where's Luckin Coffee stock actually going to be headed? And that's, like I said, what a lot of people are actually starting to wonder. Is Luckin Coffee just going to go back down to $1, or is Luckin Coffee headed towards double digits? Now, we have to take a look at it from a bigger perspective here. You guys have to understand that, yes, Luckin Coffee is still operating. Yes, they're expanding. They cleaned out the whole management, which is very, very good. It shows that the company is trying. It shows that the company is trying to turn a new leaf. Now, I know even a lot of people are recommending, even analysts say that, they're not even going to short Luckin Coffee because it is too risky. Now, I'm not saying that Luckin Coffee is going to make a recovery. I am not saying that. That's just my personal opinion. But if analysts are basically telling people to not short sell the stock, it basically means that they know that Luckin Coffee could potentially have a recovery. I mean, like I said, guys, branding itself as the Starbucks of China, it's a huge coffee chain that's all over China. It's expanding like crazy. Once it clears its name, once it gets the trust from investors back, I know that Luckin Coffee does have a chance at recovery. I know that Luckin Coffee can turn itself around. You guys have to understand, like I said, this thing used to be a $50 stock, now currently sitting at $4. For me, it looks like a steal. But like I said, that's just my personal opinion. I know a lot of people lost a lot of money on Luckin Coffee, so they kind of have a bitter taste in their mouth, and I can completely understand where investors are coming from. Luckin Coffee, they basically misled investors about how well the company was actually doing, how fast they were expanding, and it turned out to be that they were basically fabricating sales up to 210 million US dollars. Like I said, no one knows the extent of the fraud just yet. Like, it has not been released to the public, but I can say with certain fact that Luckin Coffee is trying to turn itself around. We're going to have to wait and see what Luckin Coffee actually does from here, because what they do next is actually going to be detrimental to the stock itself and the company name. Luckin Coffee can go one of two ways. It can, like I said, it can either go bankrupt or towards that path, or it can make a solid recovery, but it just has to keep its name clean and it has to do things the right way. It's okay if the company is not expanding as fast as people want it to. And as far as how fast or how long it'll take for Luckin Coffee to actually grow back and build its name, well, no one really knows the answer to that. Like I said, for me, it's going to start off with an updated balance sheet. I want to see how the company's actually doing, if they're making money. Were they making money before the fraud? These are a lot of questions I'm still wondering that I don't really have an answer to. But on top of all that, like I said, if they're still making money, they clean the management, they're still trying to open up stores, and they still have their workers working, making coffee for customers. I mean, for me, it shows that, Luckin Coffee is trying to move past the fraud. It wants the investors to move past the fraud as well, and it wants to gain that trust back. Now, like I said, the future of Luckin Coffee is uncertain. No one knows where it's going to go, but for me, I think Luckin Coffee is actually going to make a pretty good recovery. I think Luckin Coffee is going to turn itself around, but only due time is only going to tell us what Luckin Coffee is actually going to do. I still recommend people actually pick up Luckin Coffee stock. I still think it is worth it. I still think it's at a good price. You guys have to understand that investments, guys, they're going to be risky. You have to take risks when you're investing. Yes, I understand the whole retirement accounts and investing in bonds and stocks like the S&P 500 and all these indexes. But when it comes to specific stocks, sometimes you got to take a risk. Take a look at Tesla, for example. A lot of people thought that company was going to go bankrupt. It didn't make it, and it's doing very, very well for itself today. Like I said, for me, I took a huge risk on Luckin Coffee. I invested in Luckin Coffee because I actually do feel like the company can turn itself around. I like the way the company shaped itself, and I like the business idea and their business model in general, and see how it's tackling. For me, the last thing, like I said, I'm waiting on is just the updated financials to see how the company's actually doing, to see if the company is making money, and it shows that Luckin Coffee is moving past the fraud. The fraud is a thing of the past. Luckin Coffee is looking forward. And like I said, guys, even when it comes to life and investing, don't look at the past. You're supposed to look towards the future. For me, I think Luckin Coffee has a bright future ahead of itself, and I think Luckin Coffee is going to do very, very well. It needs to clean its name and continue on the track that it's been going on, and I know that Luckin Coffee soon enough is going to be a very good stock, and soon enough, maybe one day it could actually go back to $50. With that being said, guys, that's all I really have to say about the video. Let me know down in the comment section below, guys, what you think of Luckin Coffee stock. Do you think Luckin Coffee stock is going to make a good recovery, or do you guys think Luckin Coffee stock is doomed? How many shares of Luckin Coffee stock do you guys own? I'm very curious to know, guys. With that being said, thank you. Have a great day.